Hello, hello, hello everybody and welcome back to the 4 Digit World Cup 2026. We are live for the first time I believe of this Sunday if I'm not mistaken, and well, we have a triple match coming, main channel, second channel, and we are on the third channel all live with incredible matchups. And do not look back because right now we are still up for an insane battle between two incredible countries. Indonesia versus Austria, pretty much the fight that you want to witness live. So we are going to be doing exactly that. Fast for who will be covering this match? Of course, it will be me, ATM1, joined today by the lovely Timper. How are you doing, man?
Yeah, hello everyone. Welcome to this match. I don't know if the earlier match was streamed. It was a match at like 3 UTC, I think. I doubt it would have been streamed, but else this is going to be the first 3 matches at the same time. It was streamed, and it is the second match of the week or on the Sunday. It's seed 10 versus seed 19 Indonesia versus Austria. And we already see the first bans coming in. The first one from Austria banning the DT2.
Alright, that kind of makes sense, right? One way or another, even considering that Indonesia kind of doesn't really love exactly to go into a specific, I guess, tapping mechanics simply because they feel a bit more confident on other skill sets, but they definitely can show up when needed. And considering that Austria is kind of not exactly proficient on that as well, but just makes sense, right? Now it is only a question of what they are going to be following up this.
Yeah, and we see the hidden 3 ban coming in from Indonesia. And also, if streamer can change the DT2 to be banned by Austria, that would be great. Thank you.
Okay,
So
that's great.
Indonesia is going again.
I mean, yeah. I'm a bit more interested in this HD3 one, right? Because as you might have noticed previously, one of the favorite buns coming in from Indonesia is Hidden 2. They're not exactly loving to go towards that skill set simply because I feel like they are not really feeling like they want to go into it right off the bat, right? One way or another, they want to kind of just cover that peak for the future, and that might be the time to show up because it is still not being banned, and we are looking for the second one.
Yeah, and when we look at the bans before this, it's mainly the low AR picks that they ban, Primo 2, Hidden 2. So I was expecting a normal 5 ban, but we have a Hidden 3. Maybe a normal 5 is coming in here, but it could also be the Hidden 2.
I mean, the possibilities are endless, kinda, right? When you are facing off against such a powerhouse as Indonesia, there's a reason why they were able to almost bring South Korea to the tiebreaker in the round of 16, right? Only losing 6-4, and kind of playing against their own skill sets, right? Where they just had to concede some of those, again, reading possibilities, reading kind of picks, and just try to go towards some of the general directions like no mods, like aim, like again tapping mechanics, and well, this time around they're just kind of looking to open up some of their again their own possible ways to go for to set down to get the momentum going towards themselves. And it seems like with another ban of HD1, honestly, only HD2 not being banned is kind of surprising.
That is indeed surprising. Definitely if they, in group stage, they banned Fremont 2 twice, banned the Hidden 2, and in round 16 they banned the Hidden 2. So having those maps now be open is interesting. Maybe they have found a way to perform on those maps. We'll have to see how they do as Austria bans the DT3. Both teams having their own mod slots, as in like both bans for Indonesia for Hidden, both bans for Austria on double time. And we will now go into the first pick, and starting with Indonesia.
Well, let's see what it is going to be, especially as we see that both DTs are, DT2 and DT3 are being thrown out of the table. I mean, kind of expected, right? But it's still a bit sad to see because almost every match that we have streamed so far, those are the typical two maps to be discarded on the table. But it is what it is. Still going to be really interesting to see what is going to be the pick from Indonesia. As you mentioned, it might be something a bit more unexpected, different from what they were going for previously, but it seems like after 2 bans coming in on the timings from Austria, they want to continue and try to abuse that possible weakness. Fremont 3 is on the table.
Yeah, and I think this was the speed map, if I was correct, right?
Yeah, pretty much. If I'm correct, yes, it was basically at 140 BPM comfort check, right? It had some also finger control elements. There was some doubles, triples that you have to just get through control. That is why also some of the stamina requirements might be a hit at this map in particular. But generally, just if you are feeling alright on the higher BPMs on the 140, you will be doing some good scores on this map.
Yeah, and it's always surprises me that people can play speed with Hard Rock. Hard Rock makes speed such a difficult skill set to perform on, mainly because of the OD increase and also the spacing increase between nodes most of the time. It just adds that extra layer of difficulty that it's just really... You'll see a lot of people struggle on it, but we'll have to see how these players can perform on that.
We will see indeed, especially as well. We are getting prepared bit by bit, right? I feel like this first pick might be also just kind of a scouting pick, right? Because you're not completely sure if if the opposing team, right, the Austrian in this situation, is able to really cover all the skill sets on the Fremonts, right? So it might be something to abuse in the future as well. So combining the overall fear from Austria on the tapping mechanics with the overall scouting that you'll be getting from the Fremont in general, seems like a great start of the match, right? Just a lot of stuff. Even if you're going to be losing, you're going to be gaining a lot of information. So Fremont 3 on the table, rosters are ready, and we are launching right into the map.
Well, Carl isn't, so I have to panic button this real quick as we do get into the map now, and we see 2 hitters and a hard rock on the side of Indonesia, and we see 2 hitters and a hard rock on the side of Austria as well. So no overmod, both the same as we get into this first map of the match.
Yeah, the only trouble right now is that Austria was able to find some opening misses, and even more so as Cherg and Kao are going to be finding even more combo breaks together with Yase, and now it is only 1 FC standing, at least after that intro from Austria, facing off against 4 so far from Indonesia, and that is not looking great for them, especially as accuracy advantage is also going towards the side on the left.
Yeah, and it's not looking great for Austria as Carl finds more misses. And Indonesia is just chugging through this map and still holding on with all 4. And they are now going into almost 400k score lead as only a third of this map has been played.
And we are already at almost 500k score difference. Just look at that.
Oh, there goes. Oh my.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. There is still, again, some great performances from Austria, right? For example, the Shu, who is still holding that at safe for his team with albeit is a bit lower accuracy, only sit at 94%, but he has some support from Yase, not for long, unfortunately, but still at least some great performance from the team. But unfortunately for them, there is a powerhouse against them. Still Indonesia only now breaking one of those at stays together with B. Bryant. And well, as we are still heading towards the second half of this map, it seems like the million score difference is something not possible for Austria to get over with.
Yeah, this is a very comfortable pick for Indonesia, only having found 2 breaks so far, compared to Austria's many, unfortunately, and yeah. There's not really much we can say anymore on this map. It's definitely going in Indonesia's favor, really. Nothing can really happen anymore with quarter of the map left, as Austria is still trying to find any type of recovery.
Well, yeah, but at the very least we can say that it seems like we have at least one player from the side on the right who is performing quite nicely, and even more so on the hard rocks, right, of all modes. The shoe, even with some, again, a little bit lower accuracy, but compared with his teammates, he's still the highlight of this map in particular, and he might be, as already playing some bigger roles in the future in this match, as long as they are going to be able to find some footing for other players in the team. But, well, it is how it is. The opening pick was indeed a great one. Indonesia will be getting off with an advantage 1-0 against Austria, and now it is time to answer.
Yeah, but a 1.7 million score lead is probably one of the biggest score leads I've seen so far in this tournament. It must not feel nice to start off a match like that, but hopefully Austria doesn't let this get to them, and we can get a good next pick for Austria as they are now able to pick their own map, because getting even a million team score is devastating on a map like this. They had one really good score at 500k from the shoe, but unfortunately the other players in the team just couldn't keep up with the speed, as we are now waiting on that pick from Austria.
Honestly, right now the biggest question is what they want to go for right now, right? Because again, we have some information from the round of 16 that Indonesia is feeling decently good, right, on pretty much all of the normal skill sets like mod 1, no mod 1, DT1. They are going to be able to perform. They are seen to be decent enough on the modifications first, right? After we have seen the free mod 3, both modifications were doing pretty nicely, only finding the misses in the last quarter of this map, if I'm not mistaken. So right now, this kind of a question: what do you really have to go for to open up, to maybe at least find some kind of a leeway, right? Where there is some possibility of a mistake, right? Of increased mistake chance coming in from Indonesia, and it seems like it is a question to be answered with for Australia, especially as right now it seems like the only mod they can truly try, in my opinion, is something closer to Hard Rock 3.
Yeah, but they go for the no mod 1 as this is the first time I actually see this no mod 1. But if I look at the scores from the group stage, it's just like Austria can only win on the normal 3 and the hidden 3 compared to Indonesia on those group stage scores.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, it seems like Hidden 3 is not going to be working out too nicely, but well, it is how it is, right? They just have to continue doing what they are doing right now. Nomad 1, again, it's just a classic, some kind of a normal-ish map to get into and kinda try to figure out if it is going to be enough, right? Because, well, first of all, every pretty much already established player tournament player will be knowing what this map is about, the different map set, but the same song has been used as the custom for the 4WC, in fact. 2024 Grand Finals as again Nomad 1, and later reused as a Nomad 1 in the COE 2024. So it's just something that people will be decently comfortable with, right? They will know what this map is about, what they want to go for in the future, how they want to continue getting through that. But the question right now is, that's going to be enough, and this comfort is going to be enough to overthrow the momentum that Indonesia is gaining right now, right? Because after the 1.7 million win, you kind of just already feeling like it might be a bit easier
over,
than you might expect. Yeah,
not really over, but it definitely can hit your mental quite hard if you lose with so much score difference. But you could also think of it in this way, where you're like, dude, that was just not our map, and we expected this. Just reset and go into the next map, reset and just perform. And hopefully they can do that here in the no mod 1. Hopefully they can perform on this more raw aim instead of the actual speed that we just had, as we hopefully get a panic so we can get the other two players in as well.
Yeah, that's why it can be both blessing and a curse, all depending on your actual mindset. So let's see what it is going to be. We are starting off finally as a Nomad 1. Seems like for now at least there is not much trouble, only so much early misses, specifically from Blanctap if I'm not mistaken, and early ones from Cow and the Shoe, but well, there is still a lot of time, a lot of nodes to go through and to gain some score, especially in the later half.
For number one, this map is kind of short, only 2.5 minutes long. Normally, those are the number ones are like 3 to 4 minutes. As we see more misses coming in for Indonesia, the noob guy finding a miss, also Gal and as you look finding misses there. As Indonesia is currently in the lead with Blanctap finding some recovery after those early misses.
Yeah, and it seems like at least for now it was not such a big combo advantage, right, going towards the Indonesia, but after another double miss coming in from Austria, followed closely behind by Nekoyase, it seems like it's only going to be growing bit by bit as we are already closing down on the first half, getting towards the second, and Indonesia is just appearing to be a powerhouse again, right? One of the maps, one of the teams that has not been a mistake for the seed that they were able to get already sitting at 340k score advantage and only increasing it further.
It's just Cal who's not having fun on this map for Austria, as Macabea and Blanctap have found more misses, but still Skydriver, who's the only one I'm seeing so far, and they are just holding up that score lead for Indonesia as Nakayasa finds another miss. And Esyuruk and Desho, the only ones for Austria to have decent combos, but it's still Skydriver who is holding on with only a third to a quarter of the map left. I don't know if there's enough time for Austria to even come back here.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it is going to be a likely possibility, but everything can still happen, especially if we are going to be seeing some of those misses coming in from Indonesia. And Skydiver is going down after all. The combos are pretty much reset from Indonesia, only so much recovery from Blanctap and Macabea, while there is at least one possible recovery from Austria as well. Nekoyase is trying his best to catch up, but they need some, again, breakdowns from the other side and kind of a momentary lock-in from his team as well to support his behavior, to support his way of going, and it seems like that is not going to be the case for 100k. Score difference is still just a tad bit too much to overcome, especially as the map is pretty much finished.
Yeah, and with that, Indonesia once again taking the map by quite a decisive margin, and they go up 2-0 in this map as Macabea gets an S rank with 99.5%. Unfortunately for those slider breaks then, but else that would have been a really great score.
Still a very great performance from Indonesia, right? They are just kind of opening off, I believe still getting every time almost, if not one of the best scores so far on the maps that we have played, but well, it is but a start, right? It is only first 2 points, it is still first to 6, right? So there's still some space to catch up for Austria if they are going to be able to, and we are hoping that is going to be the case, especially as it seems for now, even after a point break, right, there is still some possibility to answer, especially after that the pick is going to be going back to Indonesia, and honestly it seems like there is some interesting maps in place that they want to go for.
Yeah, at this point, I think Indonesia just banned the maps that Austria is more comfortable on, instead of banning for their own uncomfortable maps. As we still have those 2 reading slots open, actually 3, with Nomad 5 Hidden 2 and Fremont 2. As I go into the DT1, the more DT aim-oriented map, but still has some awkward aim elements in it. So it's more aim.
Yeah, and again, it just kind of makes sense, right? You remember the qualifiers, you remember the group stage, the round of 16. Indonesia always was just able to produce consistently incredible scores every time, closing down towards that 4 million score, team score, and well, there is a whole lot of possibilities they will be able to do this again. So pick just makes sense, going for something that they are comfortable on and something that opposing team is just not able to catch up on.
Yeah, and we'll have to see if Austria can maybe get a breakpoint because they need it to even come back in this match. As we are waiting on one more player to join the lobby for Indonesia here. This Austria is once again ready with their team. I think it's basically the same team as the last pick for Austria.
I think it is at the very least quite similar, right? I'm not completely sure if Kala was playing exactly the last map that he's seen. I'm pretty sure he was playing the first one of this bout, but still pretty stable. Seems like company keeping us in this matchup between Austria and Indonesia. So yeah, always nice to see that. But DT1 again, I kind of forgot to mention it, right? There is one more reason why Indonesia might have wanted to go for it, right? It is kind of similar to what we have seen in the previous pools as well, right? But what is fun is that we are going to be seeing some of the bursts coming in, 267 BPM bursts at that, right? That is definitely a speed check, one way or another, right? Even if it is only for 5 nulls or something like that, right? There will be some occasional just possibilities where you have to be able to perform on the spot, and consider that you will be losing some of that mental focus on the jumps, right, that are going to be appearing throughout the DT1 as well. So a bit of a mix, right? The hybrid map just seems like an incredibly advantageous map for Indonesia.
Yeah, and I was just opening the MP link real quick, and so far they've only used 4 players, Austria, over the last 2 maps. So hopefully they have other people in waiting, but so far it's just been these 4 who have been playing all maps. As we get into this DT1, and the blue guy finding a miss early on, as Kyle did as well. But it's only early on in the map, so we'll have a lot to play for here.
Yeah, definitely. It seems like there might be a bit too much shake already, simply because it is, like, again, another speed check, right? There is going to be some troubles for Austria to get through, but they still have a possibility. It is a bit easier than we have seen on DT3, apologies, 3-3, but still we are going to be seeing some breakdowns. Austria is already 3 FCs down, only 1 still holding down is the shoe, but it is only traded by that no gap from the side of Austria, and it seems like already quarters of the map through we are going to be seeing an incredible advantage building up already towards the 300k difference.
Yeah, this is not looking good for Austria as Kyle finds more misses, and it's... Yeah, Austria is just not having fun today. Their performance on these maps has not been what they've been on other matches, as the show finds their last miss for Austria. No more full combos left on the side there, as Indonesia is just chugging along and with 3 FCs so far.
Yeah, but for now, there's still at least some kind of possibility, I would say, if we did not see a rise already towards 850k score difference within the teams, and we are always only halfway through. It seems like it will be building up to something similar to what the 3-3 was, at least until we see another double miss coming from Indonesia, from Skydiver and that noob guy. But fortunately for them, it is a team tournament, and Fuma and Bryant are good enough to hold down the gas pedal for the team of Indonesia.
Yeah, and Brian did find a miss there, as Fuma is the only one still holding, I wanted to say, but they have found a miss now as well, unfortunately, as there's no more FCs left on the board. But that score lead of 1.3 million now is gonna be enough, and with that, Indonesia is gonna take their third point in this match, as Austria is just trying to catch up, but is still getting further away.
Yeah, and after the map finishes, it seems like it is just kind of the only relief right now for Austria is that it will be the last map where they can be speed abused on, right? So definitely kind of needed evil to get through, right? That is just reality of facing off against some of the higher seeds in this tournament, right? It is quarterfinal stage already, right? So it is just something to accept and move on for, especially as, again, fortunately for them, pick is going back to Austria.
Yeah, and they really need a win here. If they can't find a win, it might be pretty much over, because after that, it is Indonesia that will have their pick if they win that, it's basically match point. And after that, it's going to be difficult for Austria to come back because getting a reverse sweep in against a team like Indonesia is almost impossible.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to break the spirit right now, right? You have to find some kind of an opener, some kind of a map to gain that just a little bit of momentum that you can try to snowball further into later stage, right? But honestly, right now, I'm not really sure what they want to go for in this situation, right? There is only so much maps left, and I feel like almost every single one of them is just so advantageous towards the Indonesia teams that I'm just a tiny bit lost here.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult for Austria to find a map here that they are going to be comfortable on, that they're going to be able to really perform on. Because the only real map that they have a better score on than Indonesia would be the normal 3. But this normal 3 is really unique, and I don't know if Austria is comfortable on this type of normal 3.
I mean, yeah, the custom for this tournament, the first one, if I may say, Needed Meat is a fun map, right? One or another. The song is something that has some controversy, so it kind of depends, but it seems like we are going to be seeing a throw decision from Austria, and that is, practically for me, for sure, a Nomad 4.
Yeah. And hopefully this doesn't break the lane, because our streamer did say that Nomad 4 might break the client, so we'll have to see how this client will work with it as we go into Nomad 4. And it's not a normal pick for Austria, trying to keep away from those modded picks once again, as they do perform better on those normal picks than on the modded picks, but we'll have to see how they perform on this.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Nomad 4 is, again, a bit of a strange map, right? Following closely behind by the name Strange Bar, but it is kind of a mix, right? There is a lot of... there is, of course, some side range that they have to get through, especially in the last third, I would say, of this map, right? But I feel like the bigger problem would be the accuracy, right? The rhythm requirement that you have to meet on this map, and this time around, I feel like it is just a bit too hard generally for the people in this tournament to completely be consistent, right? We have seen some great scores here and there. The FCs are not exactly rare, but the accuracies always have been suffered at least a little bit. So I feel like this might be the biggest challenge and requirement to meet here, especially if Austria actually wants to get a breakpoint here, right? Or rather, not a breakpoint, but a first point on board from them, right? Mm-hmm. And honestly, considering how this pick is so unorthodox, I feel like it might be a bit of a wrong way to go for them.
Yeah, this map is going to be interesting to see how they perform on it. This is not really a map that either team played very much throughout the tournament so far. So but this is not also not really a tech pick. It has some tech. It's just that this is not a full tech map as you would normally see on a Nomad 4, because that's in a different pick somewhere, I think, if I remember it right, like the actual tech.
Yeah, there is Fremont 4 that you want to go for if you want the actual side ring, but for now we are seeing the swing rhythm challenge right before our eyes already. Multiple scores less than 80%, right? There was a 90%, some were even lower, but still performance at least somewhat at the intro is kind of close, right? There's not a lot of combo being broken right now. Only 2 players that have traded out is Nikoyasa and Bokutur from Indonesia, but the accuracies are what is keeping the score still pretty close by, only at around 70k score difference right now, and well, it is only just a hope that Austria will be able to continue that further into the map.
Accuracy difference is pretty big. Austria not having the greatest time in terms of accuracy, but combo should be fine as we go into the first key ice section here, as we see those first more techie sliders as Lamenting Alice finds a miss next with Nekoyase and 2WC2026 as well. And so far, it's just Indonesia against Austria with 2v2 in terms of full combos, as we see more misses coming in.
And so far it seems like the combo might be the play here, especially as Tomodawi and Bonitapa is going to be trading each other, and it is pretty much a 1v1 on that C battle, the Shu facing off against that noob guy, but it seems like at least for now they are going to be the one to be losing, because the FC from Austria is on a rather low accuracy as well, 88% facing off against that noob guy with 97, quite commendable accuracy from them is kind of not what you want to see, right? Especially if you're an Austria supporter, but it is still only a first half. There is a second to get through. The possibility is kind of still open if you're going to be seeing some more breakdowns coming in from Indonesia, but it seems like at least for now that is not going to be the reality.
Yeah, and the combo difference is not even that big. This score lead is actually just mainly the accuracy. As you can see that the average accuracy for Indonesia is around 96, where it's around 92 for Austria. It's really just an insane difference in terms of accuracy. As we're now 3/4 through the map, and I don't know if there's even a way for Austria to come back here. I don't think there's enough time.
I don't think there is either, especially as the Shu did just find some unfortunate slider break right before the actual last key of this map, and well, it seems like that is just going to be a last nail in the coffin, as Nekoyase is of course on the recovery combo, still able to produce at least some kind of a combo score towards the Austria, but this Berkutor still holding incredible 1100 combo for his team. That is just not going to be something to stop if you are Austria right now. The 700k score difference is only going to be increasing bit by bit, and we are seeing just a so far incredible showing from Indonesia, already getting to 4-0 score sheet versus Austria.
Yeah, it's just pure domination so far by the Indonesian team here. 4-0 after 4 maps is not a great look for Austria here, as they try to get their own point on the board, but it's just Indonesia who is way too strong in terms of these maps here. As we go into the 5th map, and if Indonesia wins this one, they bring themselves into match point.
Yeah, definitely not the best place to be if you are Austria, but it's always possible to find at least something, right? You have to fight till the end one way or another, right? And hopefully we will be seeing some of those ideas in the future, but for now it is a pick from Indonesia that they have to suffer through. And again, the only big thing is there is not going to be any pure speed to get through, right? But Hardrock 1 is still going to be quite a challenge, right? First of all, it is a bit of a normal map from this pool, right? It is the most general aims that you can imagine, right? Especially the most general that you have seen from this pool, or pretty much any pool of the 4WC so far, right? It's something that you can kind of see on some of those farm maps if you want to go for them, but it is still on HR, right? It is still some 7 stars that you have to suffer through, that you have to understand, that you have to aim, and it's kind of just going to be your consistency check. The question is it going to be enough for Austria to try and get a point on, right? To gain a first break point of the match for them? It is only something to be seen in the future, as we are only getting prepared to see it.
Yeah, and this pick is going to be do or die for Austria a little bit, even though it's the pick for Indonesia, as getting 5-0 down is going to probably be the most devastating thing that's going to happen to a team in a tournament like this. Being 1 map away of getting swept is not the greatest feeling, as we hopefully see that on a more consistency pick, as you said. Hopefully Austria can perform a little bit, but so far we've not seen Austria play at their best, and unfortunately, I don't know if this is going to be the map to change that.
But well, there is no better time than now, right, to turn the tides over, so let's hope it will be indeed the case for Austria here, but yeah, running in my head is not going to be some completely forgiving map either, as we are going to be loading in after all, possibly into the last pick from Indonesia, as well, the hard luck one is their decision, and we are seeing the rosters already pretty much unchanging, almost the same people that they are seeing always, with a small exception. I believe that is going to be the first time we are seeing Tomadoi from Austria, if I'm not mistaken.
Tomadoi played the last map, no?
Last map?
Yeah, they did. They played
Oh,
last
yeah.
map. The same for Lamenting Alice is also the first time they played in last map. So those ones, yeah. As we get into the map, and Indonesia taking a slight lead so far, even though we've only played a few seconds.
But yeah, still it is pretty much on the accuracy, right? So combos are still holding it up for Austria here, so I feel like that is pretty much the only way they can win this map, right? They just have to perform, they have to keep that combo going, they have to go for FCs, for all 4 FCs possibly, and fish for... Yeah, and wish for some mistake from Indonesia, but for now, one of their own is just not able to keep up with the pressure of fighting for their lives. As Cheruk finally find a break for Austria, but that is still not that much of trouble, because there is still some possibilities of a mistake, of a disaster coming in from Indonesia.
Yeah, and this map is really long, but actually finding another miss, that recovery combo that they tried to build, being gone with Nekoyase and Tomadoi finding a miss, but traded by Blank Tab and Skydiver. But now it's a 1v2 in terms of FCs for in the advantage of Indonesia, as they start to build a lead bit by bit, now over 100k, after about a third to a half of the map being played.
Yeah, the only trouble right now for Austria is that Nekoyase was the highest accuracy FC that they have had, which will be affecting their score difference between the two teams, but still their fighting spirit is intact. They are still able to catch up, if only some more mistakes will happen from Indonesia, and there is still a second half of the map to get through. It is still a very possible situation to see yourself in, as Macabea and that noob guy are still shredding through the map, but the accuracies are not exactly fully stellar. Still 99-98% is something to be desired, something that is great enough, but it is not something that will be saying that they are completely comfortable, but Tomadai will be making it even easier for them.
Yeah, actually breaking at the same time as well, as Indonesia is finding that recovery, actually finding another miss on that little zigzag section. And with these jumps, we are now going into the last part of this map, as more misses coming in Macabea, Nekoyase, and actually finding more misses. With a quarter of this map left, with 500k difference, it's going to be difficult for Austria to come back, as basically everyone has reset their combo.
Oh yeah, that would have been so close, but unfortunately it is not going to be the case. The combos has been reset, as you mentioned, and consider that we are in the slow sections the last quarter, so there's only so much notes, only so much score to pick up for Austria, and it seems like right now they are just not going to be able to really get the ball rolling, unfortunately for them, as well Indonesia did find some unfortunate misses in this slow build up. Now actually 3 misses, only T1G able to get some kind of a performance for now for him, but it is still something that is good enough, getting towards that 98.5% accuracy, pretty much being the biggest score for his country. He's going to be enough to gain that 500k score advantage over Austria, and will be bringing them towards a match point just in a few moments.
Yeah, Indonesia is going to take their 5th point of the match here, as they defeat Austria on this Hard Rock 1. Difference a lot lower than all the other maps we've seen so far, but still almost 500k is quite the difference. As Austria is now able to pick their next map. Hopefully they can find some magic there and can get a point, but if we have to believe what has happened so far this match, it's not looking great.
Well, the Cinderella story only starts from the worst of positions. So let's
True.
hope that it might be the case here as well. The stories are real after all. So who knows? Maybe there will be some kind of a way to go for, and it will be starting off with a pick that will be coming in from Austria, possibly the last one, possibly the first of a potential comeback that they are going to be spending it on something honestly quite interesting. Nomad 5 seems like is on the table, and honestly I would have been expected something closer to Nomad 2 in the situation.
Yeah, me too. Number 5 is gonna be a gimmick pick, gimmick reading. Density is really high on this map. Yeah, this map is not the map I would have thought that Austria would pick. It is gonna be a pick that Indonesia is less comfortable on the reading end of things. But I don't know how comfortable Austria is on it themselves. They do have some decent scores from the qualifiers on the Nomad 5, which was also kind of a gimmicky pick. And on the group stage, let's see if they have played any of the Nomad 5 there or any reading. For the Hidden 2 reading, it's not looking great either. From group stage, so we'll have to see how this map goes, but yeah, it's an interesting pick for sure.
Definitely something to watch out for, right? Especially as you might know, it is an AR edit of the original map, bringing the AR value back down to the 6. It will be bringing the density challenge even higher up. There will be a lot of troubles, right? For almost any player in this tournament, it will be a bit challenging to get through, especially if you are not going to be practicing the map much enough, right? But I guess if Austria really did just got through their own homework, right? If they were able to prepare, right? Just learn the map through and through, it might be a decent pick at that, right? But, well, it is now the last time to prove that they are still able to do that, as it might be potentially the last pick, the last point of this match, and a fight for elimination, as we are going to be starting the Nomad 5.
And hopefully Austria can find that magic touch that they need to stay in this match, as Indonesia is on that match point, and the show and Tomodae finding early misses is not the great start they wanted, and Austria already finding 3 misses on each of these players. Lamenting Al is the only one to hold so far. Fuma has found a miss as well, followed by Bukator. But so far, Indonesia is going to be ahead by a little bit, as more and more misses are coming in, and more of this dense aim and reading is coming through in this map.
But surprisingly, it seems like, at least for now, Austria V is pretty equal on the combo department specifically, right? With the Shu and Lamenting Alice just getting some of that performance in check, pretty much facing off against only one FC from the side of Indonesia in the face of 4WC2026, right? Albeit with some great recovery combos that supporting ones from all 3 other players from Indonesia. But as we are already halfway through at the midpoint, at the break, players can already see what is the situation, right? And right now, it is their only job will be to just hold down their nerves and be able to continue no matter what the cost.
Yeah, and really, Austria is needed that recovery combo, and they really need Indonesia to miss right here, else it might be over and done with. Negiase and Tomodae finding misses, only Lamenting Al is the one to hold, I wanted to say, but now it's actually kind of over. Lamenting Al is finding a miss, and with that, Indonesia is going to run away with it, and with that, I think it's over and done with for the match as well.
Yeah, it seems like, unfortunately, again, the Team Austria did all they could, right? They had some great performances, great potentials, right? But Unfortunately, they are facing off against one of the best teams in this tournament, the one that might go very far away and get towards the final stages, as we are going to be seeing Indonesia winning this bout 6-0 against Austria.
Yeah, and with that, Indonesia is going to move on to the second match in this weekend. It's going to play against Ukraine at 15 UTC today. And with that, Austria, unfortunately, is out of the tournament.
To be fair, they did fight, right, as much as they could, but unfortunately Indonesia just had a bit more aces in their pocket, right? They just had some skills that they could abuse, and, well, it is how team tournaments sometimes turn out, so not much to say, unfortunately, but still great performance, great run in the 4WC this year for Austria, and hopefully even better one in the next year, as we are going to be congratulations first of all Indonesia for advancing further and getting into the second match of the quarterfinals for them into losers bracket. And honestly, after that performance, I'm quite interested to see what we are going to be seeing in the future. If the graphics are correct, we are seeing Thailand versus Indonesia, but I'm pretty sure it should be Ukraine Indonesia matchup just in a few hours, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm looking forward to this map, to this match. I will be watching that for sure. It will be really interesting to observe.
Yeah, so those are actually potentials that are not going to happen. So the next matches are going to be, I think the first match that's going to happen is the 15 UTC between Ukraine and Indonesia. Then at 15:30, it's going to be Germany, Singapore. And 18 UTC is France, Chile. Those are the three matches that are still left to play. But currently, there are still ongoing matches on the main channel, which is, I think, South Korea, China, which is currently 2-3. So maybe we can go rate them, or if you want to go over there, you can go watch that match, as we have to thank our sponsors as well.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for sponsoring our tournaments. Go check them out either in the server or even down in the description of this stream. There's a giveaway if you want to join that. The winner will be drawn in, I think, 2 or 3 days, so be quick. And hopefully we'll see you all next time. Do you have anything else to say?
Buy some slider pals, support Yobami and Kagami Studios, and see you guys later. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Thank you.
You could have hoped for, but if you'd held on a little longer, you'd have had more reasons to be proud. So many questions, but I'm talking to myself. I know that you